Hi everyone, welcome back. So I'm going to be going over how to use Wix to create a website. So I'm going to show you first. Once you log in, there should be able just to click here on My Sites. You would just say select Create New Site. I already have one going, so I'm going to show you what I have here for the purpose of demonstrating. It will load a little slow on my current internet connection, so we'll just have to be a bit patient. Okay. So I'm going to hit here on Site Actions and we're going to edit site. I'll close out of the dashboard. As we listen to elevator music together. There we go. Okay. Oops. Okay. So when yours page opens, it will look a little bit different. The instructions go over how to start with a template that you can then edit. Okay. To edit text, it's very easy. You just click on the text and you select Edit Text, and it becomes typable. You can change the type of text. For big page headings, you do want, say, heading 1. For subheadings, you want heading 2, heading 3. This is actually really important if someone is visually challenged and they're trying to navigate your website. Their internet readers need to know what's a heading and what's not in order to read it. You can change the highlight color, you can change the color of the text from here, whether it's centered, whether it's bullet points, indents. You have effects here, you can have a drop shadow, all this stuff. You can have weird stuff like this. And that's all done through the edit text. You have character and line spacing. So this is your kerning. And you might be able to hear some of my family be very excited about football in the background. I apologize for that. Okay, then you can X out whenever you're done. We'll want to edit the menu, and the best way to do this is we can try Manage Menu, and this just opens up Site Menu. And if you don't want something on here, you just click this little dot 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 and you say delete. So what we want is a home page. We need a portfolio page, okay? Then we need illustration, concept design, animation, and storyboarding pages. You can add a page. Make sure it has this little symbol. If it doesn't have this symbol, delete it, okay? Because it's going to be a very different use of a page, and it's not going to have the proper coding, okay? And once, let's say here for like illustration, you want it to be under the portfolio. And what it does is when you click on portfolio here, say navigate, what it will do is it will be a drop down menu, and it keeps this clean, which is ultimately what we want. We want a very clean menu, okay? So to get this to be a subpage, you just hit main page, subpage here, and then you can click and drag what subpage you want to be on. If this is going to be a subpage of about, I would put it there, illustration there, move it under portfolio where it belongs, okay? And even if you haven't taken these sections of the course yet, make sure you have these sections. They're really important. Optional, not mandatory for this, but if you want to have like a sketchbook where you just share your personal sketches, you're welcome to have that as a page here on your portfolio as well. Or like for storyboarding, if you want like something different, if you want to focus on animatics from here on out you could make a section specifically for animatics, but for now it can go under storyboarding. Or if you want a section specifically for 3D modeling, if you think that's something you're really going to want to focus on long term, you can put that section there. Okay. To edit the page, if you click anywhere here, you can select change page background, and you can change the backgrounds from here to whatever you want. Just make sure that whenever you change the background that you also change it across the other pages as well. Say I click on this, I want to make sure it says apply on other pages, then I'm going to select all pages, just so it's continuous across the entire website. Apply to other pages, all pages. Okay. One thing that makes certain websites poor is that the style does not carry all the way through, which is problematic. Okay. And to navigate to a different page to edit, you can do it from here from the drop down, or you can do it from here from menus and pages. So what I did here is I created a carousel. And let me delete that. If you want to delete anything, you just click on it, hit delete, super duper easy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come here to add, and we're going to come here to gallery. And it'll be here towards the bottom. We'll just wait for it to load. Okay, and I'm going to choose 3D carousel. And anytime you add something from Wix, it will have its default images. So I'm going to go here to change images. And I'm going to select all of these. Or I'm just going to go through and hit the trash can on all of them to get rid of them. I'm going to come here to add images. And what it does is it opens up the images page from My Images. So anything you've ever uploaded on Wix before, even on a different website, if you're under the same account, the images will appear here. You can, if you don't have images on there yet, you go to upload images and you just import them in here. So I'm going to choose a few here. And just because of the nature of this particular turntable, I want to make sure they're kind of horizontal images, and that will just kind of help keep everything working smoothly. And we'll say add to gallery. One thing you'll want to spend a little bit of time doing that I didn't outline in the instructions is changing the alt text. And again, this is for anyone who's vision impaired or using an e-reader. Because it will read aloud special characters. And you can even be specific. You can say like, here in description, digital illustration, right? So on and so forth. And then it will automatically put these images in here for you. And if you want to preview what this looks like, you're just going to hit the preview button. And you can kind of rotate through these. They will also automatically turn for you if you just stay patient long enough. Oops, they're going the other way. We'll hit save. Okay, we'll go back to editor. Let's say this isn't rotating fast enough for your taste. We can go here to settings and we can change how long between each. So let's say 1.25 seconds seems pretty good. How do images behave when nothing happens? This is usually the best here. At least for just kind of a preview thing. Autoplays on loading, you do want. Okay? If you want to change the design of anything, you click on the little paintbrush, and this gives you certain designs, and the design options will change depending on what you've clicked on. Okay? So on the main page, you'll probably want your demo reel, or at the end. For now, just put in a carousel, because you can always get rid of it. You can always switch it out to something else. Okay? So I'm just going to go over illustration, animation, about, and contact. I'm not going to go over the other ones because the process of setting them up is exactly the same. So let's come here to illustration. And let me actually click on concept design actually. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of all this extra stuff that comes with Wix. And I'm just going to click here. I'm going to come here to design to get rid of this white. I'm going to say no color. And here I'm going to edit text. This text needs to be white. And it needs to be the proper font. So what font was I using? Pacifica Condensed. There we go. I will double check. I'm on concept design here. And I will put this in here, concept design. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, we're going to go to gallery. And you can choose the different galleries that you like. I recommend though that you keep it simple and you keep it very usable by just using a grid gallery. This is pretty much the best one to use across the board for portfolios. Okay, and we can make it wider. We'll go to settings. It's thinking. And we're gonna come here to layout. That's fine. Let's go to customize layout. 1:1 fit to screen. We're going to change images per row. Yeah, there we go. This is a lot nicer. Okay. And don't worry if you think you have too many slots or too little. What Wix will do is it will edit the rows for you depending on how much media you have. So I'm clicking on manage media and this will pop up, and again I'm going to get rid of all this default junk that is included by clicking the little trash bins on each of these. And you'll notice that they have images of all different size, but the thumbnails are all the same size, which is really nice. It keeps everything looking really clean. So we'll go to add image and we'll say image. And we'll just, for concept design, we'll just click on a few here. Doesn't really matter if it actually fits or not since this is just a tutorial here. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, we'll say add to page. Of course, you don't want to add stuff willy-nilly. If you have concept design, you want it to stay concept design. If you recall, my students who started in January, we covered adding in or creating model sheets. That's what would go here, and everything leading up to the model sheet, from thumbnails to clean sketches, all that stuff. And again, you'll want to go through and you'll want to change it, change all the names and descriptions. And when you're done, just click done, and voila, it's here. If we preview it and we click on it, it should come up big. It'll have the description here and here. You can hit click out. Say back to editor. Let's see here. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to settings, design, customize expand mode. And that's how you make a simple gallery. It's pretty easy, right? So let's come over here to animation. I've already edited this just like I did on the other ones. The only difference is I have embedded videos, and this is actually really easy to do. All you have to make sure is that you have your Vimeo opened in a different page, so you can copy and paste the string of numbers at the end of the Vimeo video. Okay, so let me do that real quick, just so I can show you guys. Get some behind the scenes stuff here. We'll hover over your picture, go to videos. And let's see, I'll do the God of Love one. So that one turned out pretty good. Then what I'll do, just real fast to keep it from making extra noise, I'll just make sure it stays paused. I'm gonna copy and paste this string of numbers, and we'll come back here and we're gonna come to add, do video, and we'll say Vimeo. And this will create a new one, and we'll drag this down underneath. It will push down the bottom header. I'll resize this to match what else I have on the screen. It's a little finicky, that's okay. And I'm gonna hit change video, and right here, I'm gonna delete these numbers, and I'm gonna paste my own. And I do not want it to autoplay on loading, and I do not want it to loop. Okay, and that's how you do that. And that's part of why we have Vimeo videos for this module, is because we need to be able to be embedding them into our website. And it's honestly the easiest way to do it. Before I get too far, you want to come here down to your social bar and set social links. So we've already covered social media. So you'll want to have at least your Instagram, you can have your Vimeo. If there's anything else you wish to connect, you can. These are not connected. But you can just click on add icons. There's different types here that you can just pick from. The best way though is to come down through the list and to find the one you're looking for, because then you have style options here. So we'll say add to gallery, and this one's nice and white, and then you would set your link here. This is not an actual link, so it won't let me hit it, but that's how you would put in a link. Then you'd hit done, and you can see how it changes the style here. The other thing you'll want to do is down here, you want to edit the text to say 2018 and your name, because this is your website, okay? Now we're going to come down here to About, and what we're going to do is we're going to say add, and we're going to go to image, go to my image uploads, and you'll probably want to upload a selfie or a caricature. Selfies are honestly the best way to go, or just a picture of yourself that you really like. Actually, I have one of the already in here somewhere. I just gotta go find it. Here we go. Okay, and you can change the size by clicking and dragging on these corners. It should keep it proportional. And we'll bring it up here. You can place it on either side, whichever you would want. One of the cool things too is we can go to design, I believe it is. You can add a frame, so you can add a drop shadow. You can make it round like this, like that. So that's kind of nice to have. No frame. You can also go to customize design, and you can choose different things here. So I'm choosing borders here. So these are all the options it gave us before. I'm changing the width of the border. If I don't want any border visible, I'll just come to 0. I can enable a shadow, or like a drop shadow. I can change the distance, the angle, the opacity, the blur, the size, is pretty handy. I can come here to settings too. You can keep proportions, you can autofill, but you won't need to do that. We'll reset the image. When images click, nothing happens in this instance. We also need to add a header. So we'll come here, we'll add text, we'll say heading 2. We'll put that here, we'll edit the text for it to say about. We'll change to the proper text that you're using throughout. You want to kind of limit yourself to using 2 fonts at the most. Otherwise it just feels really unorganized. We'll put that in the middle and we'll change the font color to white. There we go. And then we will also come here and we'll do text one more time. And in this case, we're going to add in a paragraph. So we can click and drag to give us space here. And grab some lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum, for anyone who has not used it before, it's just a placeholder. It's just a bunch of nonsense lettering, essentially. So we'll edit the text, paste that in there. So I can change the font color. Oops, make sure everything's selected when I do that. Now you'll notice that sometimes having smaller font is harder to read against your background. So one thing we can do is, let's see where it is here. It's not highlight. Okay, so we can come here, add, and we can add a shape, and we're just going to add just a rectangle. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say move send to back so it goes underneath everything. I'm just going to put this under my text box. And you know, I would size my text to fit in it. And I can come here to the shape. We're gonna go to settings. We're gonna go to design, and we're gonna change the opacity. We'll just lower the opacity. Just make this a darker color. And it just helps us to read the text. Now when I edit my text, let's see. Just like that. And then this is real easy to read. I can change the shape at any time to be a little bit bigger. I can easily use my arrow keys to nudge it over to get it pixel perfect. Right. Just like that. So this is what your about page will need. Okay? Finally, we're going to go to our contact page. Oh, just real quick, on the About page, or in the About menu, you'll want to have some buttons. Okay, so I'm going to move all of this up just a smidge. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add. We're going to go to button. And you're going to pick a button that you like. I like this one. I think it's just nice and clean. We'll bring it down. Put it under the description here. We're going to change the text, and this will say resume. And I'm going to change the design, customize design. background, I'm going to lower the opacity on. I'm going to change the color here to match this. Okay, and then I can copy and paste to get a second button. And then I'll just click and drag to place them where I want them. It works. I'm going to change the text on the second one, and this one is going to say artist statement. Okay, and then what we can do in the future is we'll click here on the link and we'll go to how does it open, new window, and we'll choose web address, and then we'll paste the web address of your artist statement here and to your resume here after it's published to the web. But we just want to have these here and ready to go for when we do that. Okay. A little better. Okay. Now, finally, we'll go to contact, and this is actually really easy. We're just going to bring in a contact form. So how we do this is we go to add, contact, and what I'm just going to do is I'm going to select one of the first top two to start. And that's just because it only has the fields that I need. It doesn't have anything else. I'm going to stretch it out to fill here. And then I can come here to design. And I can change the colors and stuff from here. So I think I just chose this one last time because it kind of matched the other colors going on. Voila! Bada bing, bada boom. Now when someone types into here and they email you from here, you'll get an email. It comes from a weird address, but it is someone from your website messaging you, and it will go to whatever email you have signed up for Wix with, or signed up for Wix. Once you are done and you have everything you possibly could have in here, what you're going to do is you're going to publish it. And all you have to do is click publish, and it will give you a link. And then you can click view site to view it. Because it is a free site, it will have this advertisement up here. But don't worry about that too much, okay? Again, we can flip through. Whoops. That's pretty easy. We can hover over portfolio. Whoops, I have to change the colors on here. So one thing you'll definitely want to do is you'll want to be previewing your website pretty often to find stuff like this, because this has to be changed because this is unusable. Click on about. And it seems like the footer's a little big. Go to contact. Right, and you can change all these colors and stuff at any time too. Okay, and when you click on here, it should send us back to the home page. All right, so it takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of work, but it's not necessarily hard work, it's just time consuming. And yeah, that's how you make a website on Wix. Pretty straightforward. I hope you guys have fun, because it actually is pretty fun once you get into the design of things and making it match your personality. All right. And good luck. I can't wait to see what you guys create.